morning, students. Let us take up the lesson, The Sound of Music again. We have already read about Evelyn Glennie, who had mastery over many musical instruments. Today, we will know about another great musician, Bismillah Khan. He was a renowned Shehnai player in India. He is a legend because he did something which has historical significance. He played the Shehnai on the day India got independence, that is 15th August 1947, at the Red Fort before the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his speech. Before that, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai in order to signify something auspicious. Something auspicious for the whole country was about to happen. India was about to get freedom. And so, on that occasion, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai, and so he is a legend. Now, let us know the lesson paragraph wise. Part 1. Pungi was a musical instrument, the predecessor of the Shehnai. When the Mughals ruled India before the Britishers came, there was a very famous Mughal ruler named Aurangzeb. He did not allow the pungi be played in the royal residence because he felt that it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. So, any musical instrument which is made with reeds, like we have flutes, clarinets, they all are classified as pungi. So, pungi is a broad term for any type of instrument which uses wind to produce sound. Now, as Aurangzeb had banned all these reeded newsmakers, he had banned pungi in his royal residence. No one thought that one day such noisemakers, such instrument which made unpleasant sound would be played and their sound would be liked by the audience. As the pungi had an unpleasant sound, there was a barber who belonged to a family of professional musicians, and he wanted to play the pungi, but he knew that the sound produced by pungi was unpleasant, and so he decided to improve the sound. This barber took a pipe which was a hollow stem. It was longer and broader than the pungi. He made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. If you have seen a flute, it is something like this. It is a pipe which is hollow from inside and has holes on it. Then he blew air into the pipe and closed and opened different holes. He found that soft and melodious sounds were produced when he did like this. When the barber played this instrument, the royal court thought that this instrument was different from the pungi, and so it should have a different name, also meant in the royal court. Everyone liked the sound produced by it. Now, there is a story behind the name given to this instrument. This instrument was played for the first time in the royal residence of the Shah. Shah was a name given to king. Mughals called the kings as Shah. As the Nai, that is the Indian term used for a barber, had played it for the first time, they called it Shehnai. So the first part is Sheh, which stands for Shah, and the second part Nai, that is a barber. So this instrument was named as Shehnai. The sound which was produced by Shehnai was considered to be a good omen, and so it was played on good occasions. You can hear Shehnai being played at many temples and at weddings also. The Shehnai was a part of the Naubat. Naubat is an Urdu word and it means traditional ensemble, that means a traditional group of 9 musical instruments. These 9 musical instruments were played at the royal court, and Sehnai was also a part of now. The Sehnai was played at the king's court, in temples, and at weddings. It was used on stage in performances, and the credit for that goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan, who was a legendary Sehnai player, and people wanted to hear him play the Sehnai. When Bismillah Khan was 5 years old, he lived in an old estate named Dumrao, in present-day Bihar state. He used to play gilli danda, an old sport quite similar to cricket. Also, he would go to the nearby Bihariji temple. Although Bismillah Khan was a Muslim, he would go to the temple and he would sing this song, Chaita, which is sung during the month of Chait in Bhojpuri language. Bhojpuri language is spoken in an area of Bihar. When he would finish reciting the song, he would get a big laddu as reward, and the weight of that laddu was 1.25 kg. This was a prize given to Bismillah Khan by local Maharaja for singing the Chaita. The writer says that this incident occurred when Bismillah was 5 years old, that he would get this laddu as a reward. And after 8 years, Bismillah Khan earned the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So, this is the distance that he has travelled in his life. At 5 years of age, he would get a 1.25 kg laddu as a reward, and at 80, he achieved the highest civilian award in India, that is the Bharat Ratna. Bismillah Khan was born on 21st March 1916 in a family of musicians in Bihar. The lineage on his father's side was full of great Sehnai players. We can say that Bismillah Khan ji acquired the skill of playing the Sehnai from his ancestors. His grandfather was a great Sehnai player. He played the Sehnai in the court of the Bhojpur king. His father and all paternal ancestors were also great Sehnai players. Bismillah Khan ji also started learning music at an early age. When Bismillah Khan ji was just 3 years old, his mother took him to her parents' house, to his maternal uncles. Maternal uncles mean the lineage on one's mother's side. They lived in Benares. Benares is today called Varanasi. And when Bismillah Khan saw his maternal uncles play the Sehnai, he was attracted towards it, and he also wanted to learn playing it. Bismillah Khan started going on with his uncle Ali Baksh to the Vishnu temple in Benares. Ali Baksh was on a duty to play the Sehnai at the Vishnu temple of Benares. When Bismillah Khan saw his uncle Ali Baksh play the Sehnai, he would get attracted towards it, that he would sit there for hours listening to him play the Sehnai. Gradually, Bismillah Khan also started learning playing the Sehnai, and he would practice throughout the day. He never got tired. He was so captivated by the Sehnai. For many years, Ustad Bismillah Khan remained in Benares. He would visit the temple of Balaji, temple of Mangla Maya, and would remain on the bank of river Ganga, where he would practice playing the Sehnai all by himself. Thus we come to know about the talent of Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was so inspired and motivated by the river Ganga, it provoked him to improve his performance, and he also invented many ragas that were considered impossible to be produced by a Sehnai. Ustad Bismillah Khan worked hard and invented different sounds with the Sehnai. Ustad Fayaz Khan, he was a renowned classical vocalist, was impressed by his performance and said that if he would work hard like that, he would make a name in the field of music. When the All India Radio started, it is a radio station at Lucknow. Ustad Bismillah Khan started performing from there. Often, his Sehnai performance would be on air. Ustad Bismillah Khan was the first Indian to greet the entire nation through his Sehnai. He played the Sehnai from the Red Fort on this memorable occasion. The rag that was played by Ustad Bismillah Khan on the occasion of the independence of India was Rag Kafi. He played it from the Red Fort. After his performance, the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his famous speech, Traced with Destiny. Bismillah Khan gave many performances in India and abroad. Some of them are memorable, like the one at Afghanistan. The king of Afghanistan, King Zahir Shah, really liked Bismillah Khan's performance and he gifted him many things which were made in Afghanistan, like Persian carpets, etc. So that Ustad Bismillah Khan would remember his first visit abroad, that was to Afghanistan. There were many other people who also were attracted to his Sehnai's music. Gunj Uthi Sehnai is a name of a Hindi movie. It was made by Vijay Bhatt. He was a film director and he really liked the sound of the Sehnai played by Bismillah Khan, and that is why he named his movie as Gunj Uthi Sehnai. There was a song in movie Gunj Uthi Sehnai named Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. It was composed by Ustad Bismillah Khan and became a chart booster. It broke all records. Although this song was a chart booster, Bismillah Khan got a lot of success in this film, but he composed music for only 2 films. The names of the movies were Gunj Uthi Sehnai made by Vijay Bhatt and a Kannada movie made by Vikram Srinivas called Sanadhi Apanna. Ustad Bismillah Khan would say that he did not like the artificial world of films and the glamour that was there in the film world. That was why he did not compose music for many movies. Bismillah Khan got a lot of recognition and was honored with awards. Bismillah Khan ji performed all over the world. He performed in United States of America at the Lincoln Center Hall. He performed in Montreal, Australia in the World Exposition. He performed at the Cannes Art Festival and he also performed in Japan at the Osaka Trade Fair. Tehran is located in Iran. Bismillah Khan was so famous all over the world that in Tehran an auditorium has been named after him. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. When Ustad Bismillah Khan received India's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna, in the year 2001, his eyes were shining. He was very happy because his hard work had been recognized and he gave an important message to the country. He told all the Indians to teach music to their children because music is the richest tradition of India. He said that even the Western countries wanted to learn India's music. Although Ustad Bismillah Khan ji had travelled all over the world, he was given so much respect and recognition, he remained rooted. Banaras, where he learned music, and Dumrao, where he was born and brought up, were the 2 most wonderful towns of the world for him. He was so down to earth that although he had travelled all over the world, still he was attached to his birthplace. There was a student of Ustad Bismillah Khan and he wanted that Ustad Bismillah Khan should set up a Sehnai school in USA. He promised that he would recreate the temple of Benares in America for Ustad ji as he would miss it. Now, Ustad Bismillah Khan was attached to river Ganga also. So he asked his student that would be transport the river Ganga also to America. So he wanted to say that he could not leave India. He was attached not only to the temples of Benares but also to the holy river Ganga. Ustad Bismillah Khan said that whenever he visited any foreign country, he longed to see India. He wanted to return to India. And then he says that when he was in India, in Mumbai, he yearned to visit Benares and the Ganga river. And when he was in Benares, he missed his birthplace Dumrao and the Matha, where he sang Chaita and was rewarded with the laddu of 1.25 kg weight by the ma. The writer says that Ustad Bismillah Khan was a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India. His work was beyond the religion barriers. Although he was a strict Muslim, he followed the Muslim laws. But every morning he would play the Sehnai at the Kashi Vishwanath temple, which was a Hindu temple. This shows that he did not have the barriers of religion in his mind. He was a true Indian. He considered music to be India's richest cultural heritage. Ustad Bismillah Khan had been ill for a long time and he died on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90. The entire country mourned the death of the legendary musician. There was a holiday for one day and he was given a state funeral.